Hello guys, and welcome to this video. Today is gonna be something fun. I have just recently got this scooter back. I've had it for a while now, but I had some mistakes with it. But today, we are gonna be reviewing it. I'm gonna go through everything this scooter is capable of and pretty much everything about it. This is the Segway Ninebot Max G30P. And so let's just dive into this video. So just going over basically what this scooter is capable of, we'll start off with that. So what are the specs of the Segway Ninebot Max G30P? Well, according to Segway, this thing is capable of doing about 40.4 miles of range, which for an electric scooter is incredible. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. For something this size and for how heavy it is, even though it isn't that heavy at all, it's pretty much impossible for that to get this range. Unless you are going in eco mode, which limits you to 9 miles per hour. And you're not gonna go 9 miles per hour for 40 miles. That's just not fun. This scooter has a top speed in sport mode of 18.6 miles per hour, which is 19 miles per hour, it says on the display. So that leads me to show the specs of the scooter. Having those two numbers in mind is really helpful. So what is the scooter capable of? Well, it has 3 modes: Eco, Drive, and Sport. In Eco, you achieve a slow acceleration, but yet minimalistic, nice and easy, kind of easing you up to the 9 miles per hour top speed. You have Drive for if you're taking things to a little new level, which it's a little more accelerating than Eco mode, with achieving a top speed of 15 miles per hour. And then finally, Sport mode, which is the best. You achieve the maximum acceleration that this motor can produce and hit the top speed of 18.6 miles per hour. So, what is this scooter like? Externally, not internally. So, let's get into that right now. Thinking about this scooter externally really gives you a minimalistic vibe. On the dash, you only have one button, and that is this sort of power button, if you wanted to call that a power button, which does everything. It activates the screen, turns it off, activates the light. You can change the modes as I showed previously, and that is it. Really, that's it. There are some other features up here, like a bell, which is nice. And it is nice and loud, it will be heard, which I personally do like better than the P65, which the P65 has a horn that you click a button and it will make a loud chirp sound, which I like the sound of a traditional bell. It's just more calm when you're passing pedestrians. And coming up above the screen, we have a nice fresh orange Ninebot logo, which looks really nice considering there isn't anything else up there. So coming onto this side, we see the throttle, which matches that orange color that is the Ninebot logo, and you can see that consistently used on the scooter. So that just works as a normal thumb throttle with your right hand on this grip. But then there's this. So what is that exactly? Well, that is when you fold down the scooter. You fold it down using a mechanism up down here, which you simply just pull this out, unlocking this, and then you pull this down and out like that, and it'll make this whole top half kind of collapse, and then you will be able to come to the rear of the scooter and attach it right here on the rear fender. And that leads me to the bottom part of this scooter, which I really like. So, coming back to that external vibe, this scooter is powered by a front drum brake and the rear electronic brake, which just uses that same motor to slow down the scooter, which is more powerful than the front drum brake, but having the front drum brake is nice for some situations. So moving down here, you can see that rear motor just looking nice and sleek, riding right over the kind of like edge of the fender, which looks really awesome. You have the charge port here, which if you lift that up, reveals 2 charge ports, which one that comes with the standard charger, and then one over here for if you buy a faster charger, or it's the European one. I am not 100% sure on that. Then you have all the other warnings over there, but here's that front drum brake I was talking about. I've had to get this replaced twice. I've had to fix it, and it's not fun, because you have to take apart the whole thing to kind of replace it. It's not really long lasting, and it really just isn't that good. But that's alright, because the rear one is pretty solid. And then you're riding on pretty solid tires. They're 10.5-inch P pneumatic tires, front and rear, which compared to something like a 20-inch wheel is pretty much just the same. Except one might look better than the other. But there is really no need to worry about that, since this is an electric scooter, not a BMW or any car. And so, let's talk more about the Segway Ninebot Max. So, back to this video. What is it like owning it? Well, I have just about 1,930 miles, so close to 2,000, which the journey from Los Angeles, California to New York City in New Jersey is about 2,700 miles and takes about 41 hours. That means I've almost rode that distance on this near 30-pound scooter, which is pretty incredible. But I mentioned I have had to replace that front drum brake twice, which is just from cosmetics. It's not like I beat on it trying to just absolutely crush the front brake. It just happens. And I've also replaced this rear fender. This is what the old one used to look like. Don't know why I kept it. Disappointed that I did. My hands are all dirty from touching it. But this is what it looks like. It gets extremely beaten up. But I also haven't taken very good care of it. But it just takes really awful marks on this thing. Anyways, also this front board. I've had about 2,000 miles standing on it, and this is what the old one used to look like. Compared to this fresh new one with a fresh Ninebot logo, this one just completely didn't have the Ninebot logo. You can kind of see it there. It faded off. Not my problem. It's the least of my concerns. But I've also had to replace brake line, wire, some more wires, rear tire 3 times? Yes. This front thing a bunch of times. So yeah, it can be a hassle, but it's a solid scooter. And that's basically it to the scooter. Now let's review the app, and then after that, we'll take it for a ride. And we'll find out what the true range of the Segway Ninebot X330P is. Let's see what that is. Alright, so we have these 3 scooters here. This is one of them, and then we have this one, and then we have 3 of them. We're gonna test them in sport mode, and we're gonna see what the real world range is in 70-degree weather with a beautiful day today. So we're gonna test them out and see what they do. Let's do this. All right, so we are at 100% 40 miles range. We're gonna go over to create new. All right, we are gonna record the ride and let's see what we can do. Okay, so we are on the road and I got all three of us, and we are gonna test out what the Segway Max in sport mode is capable of doing. Ride it. Basically, it's dead and water waiting. Oh, he went a little fast. Alright, first fun little area going out the road. Oh my gosh. Oh.
We lost one!
We lost one. But that, oh god! Oh, it's so wet. So this thing can really handle anything you throw at it. It's still really get over any obstacle. It is super light, so that is helpful. But mosquitoes are so loud. They hear me. But this thing is doing pretty good, so I'm excited to see what it will do. Oh god, we already have another section. Oh, little slide. Drift. Oh my god, it's so deep right here. Oh. Like I said, gets you through anything. Oh shoot. Can I do another drift? Oh my god. Alright, we are coming to a fun little area I like to call the drift zone.
The drift zone!
Yeah, and the canyon zone. Oh, that hit my finger. Oh, shoot. Alright, this is super drifty. We're gonna see what we can do on it.
No, Hunter, you start sliding uncontrollably.
I'm the one who... Oh! If you like slightly touch the brake, you're gone. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh yes! Alright. Still, oh, my fifth bar is still going. Alright, well this is the point where I've realized I have my first bar, or the fifth bar, blinking. And I believe I've gone about 4 to 5 miles. So I would say it's blinking pretty hard, accelerating a lot. What are you guys at?
Same as you.
So you just have, are you on solid 4?
Solid 4.
Okay, he's on solid 4
I'm
and
on
he's
5 blinking.
he's on the what I'm blink. He's what I am. So we're 5 blinking on he's solid 4.
I feel like I've been going way too fast. I really like going really fast.
Well, we'll see. I'm tracking this ride, so we'll see what happens. All right, so
Can we compare?
yes, we're gonna compare. He has rode 4.7 miles, 33 minutes, and his max speed was
19 points.
19.6.
How is that possible?
And then let's open up mine. Oh, we'll just. So
It
I've
only
gone
goes
4.6 miles. So he's gone 0.7 miles further than me. It says I'm still moving. I've been riding for 31 minutes. He's been riding for 33. My max speed was the same as him. And so my battery is on 5 blinking, and yours is on solid 4.
Okay.
So he rode a little further than me, but it should. So he's on solid 4, and I'm on just about. Well,
yeah, that's because I've been riding a little longer.
yeah. Alright, so these are fries, and we both got some. He has his Insta 360, so we're gonna try to use that. But these are like the best fries in the world. With this awesome little like powder. So let's get back to the review. Okay, so we are just starting up again. 41 minutes, 5.5 miles. Solid 4 bars. Let's do this. Got you another cool part. Scooter's still on 4 bars. Same with his, so it should be doing pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the end. Alright, we made it to a pretty cool spot. 4th bar is blinking, but we've gone pretty far now. We're gonna go around this off-roading area, and then we'll come back and check once we're done. So we brought these babies to the beach, and we're gonna take it for a quick little spin. Quick update, if you can see that, 2 bars right now, and kind of just rolling in a parking lot. All right, literally 1 bar, and if I start riding, you'll see that that is wrong. Yep, there we go. I just started blinking red. So it is about to die, and I've been riding for, how long have we been riding for? Like 3 hours?
4 hours.
So quite long, and so I don't know. I'm gonna see. Usually when it gets to this point, it will begin to kind of slow down a little, so that way it kind of saves some energy. But for right now, we're just gonna go and see. I think it's at like, I'm not sure. All right, it is pretty much dead. Yeah, there we go. You're just barely blinking. So we're gonna put it away. And so yeah, that's how far it did. 7%, so it's charging now, but pretty good.
Alright, so guys, we are going to be testing its capabilities on an off-roading material. Basically just rocks and like some dried up stuff. Alright, so let's get going. Alright, so at first, so if it's like a dry material texture, you can definitely feel that it's rock solid. I mean, it doesn't feel like you're on anything, and the pneumatic tires really help out with smoothing out all the bumps. And well, if you know how to brake correctly, very little skirtage as it has ABS built into it. So kicking off, you don't see any skirting, which is super awesome, especially as a keeping battery, but it gets you right up to 19. So we're gonna test that right now. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. And keep in mind, this is a rock path that is bumpy, so it's doing a really nice job, and it's super fun to ride. So it definitely does a really nice job, and it's definitely built for off-roading. I mean, considering it's a computer scooter, it does a really nice job. So out of 10, I would give it probably a decent 8 out of 10 on off-roading. For me, a 10 out of 10, but for like normally, just like just normally 8 out of 10. When you do brake and you put all your pressure on the back, which is how you're properly meant to brake, it does skirt, but that can easily be fixed. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. I love it. Super fun to do like drifts on and stuff like that, and that's why I give it a 10 out of 10. But like for normal people, you definitely don't want to be doing it. So yeah. Alright, so up next we're gonna do the 9-bot off-roading water capabilities, mud, grass, so basically anything off-road. So I've kind of already started it, and I gotta say this thing does perform really well. So we're gonna go out on the trails where it's nice and wet and muddy and grassy, and we're just gonna test out overall how well this thing does. Let's go! Alright, so first we're gonna start off with doing just kind of side puddles. So say you're riding on the side of the road one day, and you know you need and it's muddy. So we're going about 12 miles right now, and I'll say this thing's doing a good job, I would say. So you can kind of see when I go over to the side, it does a nice job at kind of sealing it out and kind of just using the fender. I'll definitely say the rear one is doing a really good job at keeping water from my back. So, you know, we're cruising through it right now. Going about 12 miles. So not max speed, but definitely not anything slow. All right, so let's try going as fast as we can this time. So let's see if we can hit 18. So, overall, the board's a little wet, but I'm completely dry. So I would say go as fast as you want. I would recommend over there just going like 12, I would say. Not typically very fast, but you know, just try to stay like average speed, but don't go fast, and you'll be fine. All right, so how well does the Ninebot perform in just simple puddles when you're driving on the road? So I'm just gonna go pretty much. Say your accelerator. I got a little wet on that one, but I would say I'm pretty good. All right, so next, so we're just gonna kind of continue that and a little bumps. All right, pretty good. I'll say. Just like say you're on a bumpy road and you're going through this. I would say you're just going a little slower. You'll be all right. All right, let's just do pretty much rock at this point. So let's just do like, say you're driving. The road switches, and then you have to drive through this. So I'm gonna kind of do this and then a second trail after this. Okay, so the bumps, I'm not wet. So it's a little wet, but it's doing a good job. I'll say, if you're like riding on rocky like surfaces, the tires do slip a little, but like overall, that was pretty well done. I will admit. We'll go through that one more time. That car thinks I'm a weirdo. But anyways. All right. Yeah. Let me just get over here really quickly. So I'd say it performed really well through that. I'm not wet. Well, except for my other tests I am. But I did get a little on the board right there, but overall, I think it did really nice. Say you're riding and you need to go through this little grassy area. So I'm gonna do that right now. So you know, you're cruising, going like max speed you can, and you go through water. All right, I'm shocked. That overall, in my opinion, did an 8 out of 10. The board definitely got a little wet, but overall, I'm fine. So I would definitely say, don't be afraid to really go through puddles on this thing. It definitely can handle it. Next, we got this type of trail. So you know, your standardized trail, but with a little water. So say you're riding on it, going like, I'll say 12 through 15. How well is it gonna stand? So it's definitely a little slick and deep, but this one, avoid it. I just got absolutely drenched on this one. So, because it's a trail and these are tire pressure tires, they had PSI, they're air-filled tires. It's definitely gonna sink a little, so you're gonna wanna probably avoid this, I would say, because I got soaked. The board did, and as you can see, it's, well, dripping. So I don't recommend that, but it's up to you, really, what you do with it. So I'm gonna do it one more time, except as fast as I can. So I have the max speed down. We're just gonna fly through it. Okay. Do not go max speed through that. That was a very bad decision. I am absolutely crossed. Okay, definitely try to avoid this. I would say if you go slow, so I would say like, you know, like 4 miles, you can definitely get this done and you'll be fine. Try to keep some speed because you will lose traction. So I'd give that a 4 out of 10 if you're going slow. So definitely don't do this. All right, so how well does the Ninebot do if you're just going through wet grass? It's not puddly, but it's wet. So I'm just gonna go pretty good speed here in, well, as you can tell, I've already done it. But it's definitely not bad, I would say. You do get some slickage, so when I try to get out of here, it's gonna drift a little. But you can definitely get up and go on this thing. It's not like you'll be blocked or anything. All right, so we got trail number 2 now. So this is trail number 2. We're gonna do it because, well, I know I already did trail 1, but I feel I should do both of these types of trails just in case, well, you don't have that trail. So overall, on this type of rocky trail, it's more so rocks than really anything else. And I'd say going max speed, it can do it. It is soaking wet and soggy, but it does it. So like these little areas, it did it, but that was pretty hard for it. As you can see, I did make a little divot through it, but genuinely, it did fine. And say you're going slow and you need to go through this, it's definitely got that torque power to do it. And as you can see, I'm all the way up to 15 now. And with the regenerative braking, it really helps. So I would say if you're cruising through those types of puddles on it, yeah, it does pretty good. I went through it as fast as I could, and I did not get that soaked. I'll do it one more time just to kind of really show you how well it does. So, say you're riding. So I was going about 10 there, which is decent speed. Like, that's not slow, but it's definitely not the fastest it goes. And I'd say you'll get wet if you're going really fast, but 10, that's pretty good. I mean, it was doing it quite fine. And so I'd give it a pretty much 7.5 out of 10. Let's go on to soaking grass. How well does the Ninebot do if it's flooding and you have to get to work? So I got this huge puddle here, and so I'm just gonna basically just drive it through it, see how well it can do, and just kind of overall see how it does. So this is the one I'm scared for the most because it goes pretty deep. So just pushing it through it and kind of getting it through it, it's deep. And it doesn't do the greatest, I'll say. But it went through it, but I wasn't on it. So it did not the greatest on that, I'll say. So how well does it do, say, if it is just that one day that's flooding? So you need to get somewhere and you're not wearing the right clothes. Well, going about 6 to 7 with the throttle about midway down, it did it really well, actually. I'm not wet, which is also really good. I'd say if I was going fast to this, I would get soaked. But it did a really nice job for that flooding little area. So I would say a 9 out of 10 because, well, this isn't the greatest. But the rear wheel drive does help. Okay, say you're daring and you go through that puddle at max speed. What will happen? Now, because that's the type of person I am, let's go. Alright, so I have the throttle like maxed out right now. I'm a little scared. Whoa! I got absolutely soaking wet. That was not a good idea, but I'll say it did really good. So definitely don't be afraid to put this thing through some challenge. I'm just gonna try that one more time. This probably won't get uploaded, so I don't know if I'll be posting this. I didn't go really max speed on that one because of this turn. Okay, this thing got absolutely drawed. Okay, don't do that. I'm scared. And to just show you how deep this was, this is my boot all the way in. Like, there's some probably deeper areas, like right here. This was really deep. I was worried it wasn't gonna do it. I drove like right here. It did it pretty flawlessly, so it did really well, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, how well does the Ninebot perform in braking in this type of water? So just on the normal road, so you're on this, and bar down and no skirtage. So it's a dual brake, one in the front and one in the rear, which is the motor. And I would say there is no skirtage. I did it right there and right there only, and it was fine. So definitely, this thing definitely has the best brakes I've seen. Now we're gonna try it just on the roads where I was trying it the first time. So on the side where there's a decent more amount of puddles. So let's just go. 3, 2, 1. That had skirting, but that was just the rear wheel. The front wheel was perfectly fine. So definitely, this definitely has the best brakes for pretty much anything you put it to. So definitely brake as well as you can. How well does this do at braking on an asphalt driveway? Definitely say it's not what you would hope. Because anything you brake on an anything you brake on a driveway will not do as well on an asphalt because it's slippery. So it's wet, so let's just kind of try it. So that was max, and the front one didn't do it, but the rear one skirted, which is not what you want to see. So I'll try it right here. Okay, as you can see, I just kind of like went that way and then shifted back in, and that's definitely not what you want to see. How about, well, taking off? Yeah, also skirted. So I'd have to give this one about a 4 out of 10. It's just not what you would want to see and not what anyone would expect. So, what do I give this as a final rating? The Ninebot's final rating that I give it for its off-roading, water capabilities, mud and ruts, and all those amazing things. Out of 10 stars, I'll give this thing an 8.44. There's definitely areas where you can definitely see you got a lot of water on it, but it also helped to clean it off, so that's nice. But it's definitely awesome. So this thing's amazing at off-roading.
Alright, so drive was there, eco was there, and sport was just right here. I gotta say, pretty good for having that. So actually, the exact same. That was the stopping point. Yeah, the other two I think stopped right there or right there. grade. I'm on about 7.5 right now, and so we are going to see how well it does going from 0. And so you can kind of see that slight up. So I'm just gonna go stop in sport mode, 5 bars, so probably around 90. Okay, good start. Slowing down. Alright, so now we've made it to the end of this video, and so what is my final verdict on the scooter? Should you not even buy it at all? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, if you don't know, about at the beginning of 2023, Segway released the new Ninebot Max G2, or the Segway Ninebot Max G2, and that was the younger brother to this. This is the older brother to that, and it's just bigger. It has suspension, which isn't, it's just a little hydraulic piston that can absorb the bumps, and it is solid, except that is also on sale a lot, so I would recommend getting that over this. But if you aren't willing to go the extra mile and pay the extra money, this is an incredible scooter. So in the end, I would say shortlist it. It is a great scooter, except there's much to come. So thank you so much for watching this video. And well, let's just say the Segway flagship scooter, the GT2, is coming soon. I'm ending it there.